What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the farm. We're just getting going on what I believe is boil number 7 for this year. It's Wednesday. Got off of work this afternoon. I have had the fire going for about an hour now, maybe a little bit over that. We had some monster flow yesterday. Over the weekend, we had really cold temperatures. We were down in the 20s. We kind of stayed there for a while. And then Monday, President's Day, we saw the 40s. The wood started to thaw out again, sap really started to flow, but then yesterday we got into the mid-50s and we had some absolute monster flow. I collected about 115 gallons off of the 70-ish taps that are back on our gravity system back in the woods. I'm sure you've seen some of those videos, hopefully. If not, go back and check them out. Really proud of that so far. It's really been working out great. But anyways, collected about 115 gallons. Took 2 trips back into the woods, wasn't able to get everything in those 2 trips, so I left somewhere between 25 and 30 gallons back there in the IBC tote yesterday. Was going over under freezing last night, wasn't too worried about leaving it back there. That gave me plenty to work on with the RO overnight. Probably got somewhere around 60-ish gallons of water pulled out overnight. Yesterday evening and then overnight, and then was even able to do a little bit more. I set my RO on a timer when I go to work, so I let it even do a little bit more once I saw it in the morning and I saw what was left, basically. So that's what we're working on this evening, and we're just gonna keep plugging away at it. Watched a video the other day from, I'm gonna call him my friend Joe. Joe from YB Family Farms. Looked him up on YouTube. I really love Joe's stuff. He was one of the first people to reach out to me when we started doing maple syrup. I don't know how he found our channel back when we had 25 subscribers and 24 of them were my friends and family. But Joe found us way back in the day, and he was real encouraging with the channel, the syrup stuff, everything that we've done here at the farm. Joe's a really great guy. So I call him my friend because it seems like we really would align on stuff one day when we finally get to meet each other. Anyways, Joe did this video about progress, and he talked a bunch about what progress has looked like for him and his family on their farm homestead up in Michigan where they're at. And he talked a lot about what their maple syrup progress has looked like, and that really has got me to thinking over the last 24, 36 hours since I watched his video. What have been the things that we've progressed on? Where has been our big growth? Because sometimes, I know I'm a big offender of it. Sometimes we let ourselves get caught up and we don't really pay attention to what we have been able to accomplish over the years, really now. This is our 5th season, 6th season doing syrup. And so in my head, I've kind of been thinking about what are really the major things that we have seen that growth in and we have seen that progress. One of the big things that I have been able to do, and fortunately I have done over the past, really the whole time we've been doing the syrup to some sort of degree, is tracking. Whether that's tracking time, whether that's tracking effort, whether that's tracking finances, whether that's tracking sap volumes. Being able to go back and reference those numbers and figures and even just notes that I've taken over the years have really been helpful in. It's real easy to think that you remember correctly, think you're remembering correctly, and be incorrect. Sometimes we remember the bad better than we remember the good. Sometimes we remember the good better than we remember the bad. So having that hard evidence, not just anecdotal evidence, but the real facts and figures written down, kind of journaling as the year has gone. And I don't take meticulous notes, but I try to track general sap numbers. When I boil, I try to track how many gallons we have done in the boil, what finished syrup we end up with at each boil, how many bottles that equals out to. So I have things to compare from year to year to year, how we have stayed on track, how we've improved, how we've fallen back from. And you all know if you do syrup, it's all weather dependent anyways, but it's good to have that information so we can sort of base progress, whether it's forward or backward, versus years past. And while the tracking and the journaling are 2 things that I have done successfully in the past to track progress, I also have been pondering on what are some other things that maybe aren't strengths that I could focus on a little bit more to help me with keeping this progress thing in mind. Because when I listened to Joe talk about it, it really struck a chord with me, and it felt like, this is something that I should be keeping in mind. Practicing gratitude, I think that's another big thing. Gratitude for my own effort that I put into it. I mean, while I really enjoy this, it is a decent amount of hard work. Gratitude for the people that have physically helped me with the boiling, with all the work in the woods. I mean, if you guys have watched any of my videos, you see that my dad is involved in just about every one of these projects that we do. He lends his time, he lends lots and lots of physical effort to the cause. He has led to the cause financially. I am very blessed to have him and so many other people in my life that allow me to do these things that I love. You know, I'm blessed to have a supportive wife that lets me dedicate so much time to doing this. And she's such a big support in all of these things that I do at the farm. And she doesn't necessarily have to be, but she loves me and loves to see me happy doing these things. And when I get her out here doing it with me, it just gives me so much joy. So being able to practice that gratitude, both towards self and towards others, I think that's also another big thing that we need to keep in mind when we're thinking about progress. And another big time thing that I thought about when it comes to actually accomplishing projects is being able to take these large, big picture things and break them down into like more digestible chunks. I am super lucky that my dad, as I mentioned, you know, he wants to be involved in all of these projects that I have at the farm. He enjoys these things, whether it's lending time and whatnot to the cause. Something that it's his superpower. We kind of tease him about. He is great at being able to see the end and being able to see the 10, 20, 30 steps you're going to need to take to get to that end goal. He is just really, really good at breaking those things down and sort of systematically setting up a way for you to accomplish whatever the end goal is. So thank goodness for me, because I am sort of the poster child for ADD. One of my go-to moves is starting 15 projects and having all 15 of them 10% done before I have any of them finished. So fortunately, I'm able to go to him with ideas, and he has helped me to build that structure muscle. I am way better at it than I was before. But when I first came out to the farm, that was not a strong suit of mine. And it's something that I definitely needed to develop to be able to grow and accomplish all of these things that I've wanted to accomplish. Because if you bite off more than you can chew, sometimes you end up getting yourself in a situation where you're just spinning your tires because you're only making such little progress on all these different things. You don't see the progress, versus if you can focus your efforts onto one thing at a time, or even just a couple of things at a time, and see market improvement, market growth, market progress. It really makes a big time difference. And thank goodness he has helped me develop that muscle over the years to where I can accomplish big time goals. And thank goodness he's still here to help me. I know I keep reiterating that, but I can accomplish these big time things, and I'm able to keep focused on the task. Well, who knows how long I've just been rambling, and if you made it to this part of the video, kudos to you, because that was just a whole bunch of me talking and nothing really very exciting. But it is fun to go back and sometimes think about and make yourself look at all that you've accomplished, because you know sometimes you gotta give yourself a little pat on the back. The first year I did maple syrup, we were on a filing cabinet with a steam pan in the top of it. Hopefully I can find a picture of it right here. The second year we bought the evaporator, we bought the arch and the evaporator tray, and we built this barn. It was just one big old clear span building, and we just set the arch in the middle of it, and that's what we cooked on that year. The year after that, we built the shop. We built the shop out inside the barn. We added the RO. The year after that, we added the walk-in cooler to help keep the sap cool, and we added the CoolBot. We added the vacuum filter. And then this year, We did the gravity system. So we went from doing buckets and drop tubes at every tree to we now have, I believe, 72 taps that all come to one central collection location. And I just get to go down there with the gator and offload from one tank into some other tanks, into some buckets, and drive it back up here. And I'm not carrying buckets anywhere except from right outside the garage door over to the RO. Somewhere in there we did the transfer pump system, so we can pump water, permeate water from the RO corner over to the 55-gallon drums at our sink, and that's the water that powers our sink. We can pump straight from the RO corner over to the walk-in cooler to keep it cold if it's going to be a couple days before we boil. So if you're doing this, and especially if you made it to the end, take a few minutes, think about your progress. Give yourself credit for the areas you have grown, and then critically look at the areas that you want to grow some more. If you haven't reached those goals of progress, or if you find yourself looking at it and you realize that there's something that isn't the way you want to do it, think about it critically, think about what you want to do to change it, and then the things that you are doing right, give yourself some credit for it, and enjoy. If you guys made it all the way through that, 2 gold stars to you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Just a little bit of me rambling. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, think about hitting that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, y'all, we will see you.